bees are dying, and our survival depends on them. That's why 4RB's created the Pure Wave Cell, a breakthrough quantum device proven to help hives thrive, doubling colonies and boosting honey production naturally. Every jar of our Pure Wave honey fuels this mission, supporting beekeepers worldwide. Visit 4RBees.com. That's the number 4OurBees.com, and use code WITF for 20% off. Save the bees! Save us all!
Where in the Folk is not and should not be viewed as a news source. Any names, places, or likenesses mentioned are purely fictional, and any information discussed is purely speculative. Guest opinions are their own and do not reflect those of anyone else. Where in the Folk is not responsible for content accuracy of any stories that are told or what people do with these stories. This show is vulgar, sometimes graphic, and due to its content, it should not be viewed by anyone, actually.
Welcome to another episode of Where in the Folk. I hope everybody's had just the most tremendous week, and thank you for joining myself and Morgana. Tully's MIA. I don't know where he is. Truth be known, I don't care. No, I'm joking. He's doing something. He'll be back.
We will allow him an occasional day off.
Occasionally.
Yeah, just
He'll be back tomorrow, though. We have a show at 8 p.m. tomorrow for another watching party, so tune in tomorrow. And if you're tuning in right now, go ahead and like and subscribe if you've never done it before. It's fun. It's exhilarating.
Yes. We almost guarantee you weekly entertainment.
At least.
That's
right.
If
it ain't entertaining, at least it's something. But tonight, before we get started into our subject of what we're going to talk about, this kind of plays into it, what started with me today. This morning, you know, the whole Murphy's Law. I like to compare myself to Job sometimes. It's not quite as drastic. I woke up to a clogged toilet. And I don't know if you've ever had to use their bathroom desperately and have a clogged toilet. So I had a crash out, is what the kids would say. I punched walls, I plunged things, I screamed. I just kept going on like this for hours and hours. Then a true miracle happened. While I was sitting in my room, I heard whoosh, and I walked in there and the toilet just magically flushed. I said, "You're joking me." You are kidding me. After like 2 or 3 hours too.
That's awesome.
And I was like, this is a divine intervention. This is a miracle. Run 100%.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so amazing that plays into that today, because what if some of the most unbelievable stories in human history actually happened? Seas splitting in two, the dead walking out of the graves, the sun dancing across the sky while tens of thousands of people watch. For centuries, people had called these events miracles. But were they truly acts of divine intervention or something far stranger? Tonight, we're diving into some of the most fascinating, mysterious events ever recorded, stories passed down through ancient texts, witnessed by massive crowds, and in some cases, even documented in modern times. As we explore these moments tonight, we want to ask yourself the same question that we're asking. Are these miracles, paranormal events, mass hysteria, or something we just can't explain? Or maybe never will. Let's find out together. So, the most famous one I want to get started with, and now let's go ahead and shout out everybody in the chat here: Crystal, Landa, Nick, Shane, Ronnie. Welcome.
Yes. And everybody hanging out there that is not commenting, welcome to you too. And hey, hop on. You know,
absolutely.
We'd love to hear you.
So the first one I like to get started is one of the first ones I ever heard about when I was a child, is the parting of the Red Seas.
Okay.
And we're talking about in the Bible, nothing disgusting for Nick out there. And one of the most dramatic moments in religious history, a desperate escape became a story of divine intervention that echoed for thousands of years.
Mm-hmm.
The event come from the biblical book of Exodus, where the Israelites had lived for generations under harsh slavery in ancient Egypt. According to the story, their cries for freedom were answered when God chose a reluctant shepherd named Moses to lead them out of captivity. After a series of devastating plagues struck Egypt, the Pharaoh finally allowed the Israelites to leave, but freedom didn't last very long. No. Soon after they departed, he changed his mind and sent an army after them, hundreds of chariots and soldiers to hunt them down. The Israelites found themselves trapped in front of the stretched vast waters of the Red Sea. Behind them, hundreds of Egyptian army people in the Egyptian army approaching. As panic spread, there was nowhere to run, so Moses just lifted his staff and the water parted. And that's where So this one right here is really cool because in recent times, they've actually found what could be conceived as evidence of this in the Red Sea. They found like chariots and all kinds of stuff just right there. Now, when he rose his staff, a powerful wind blew through the night, forcing the water seas apart. The sea split open, forming towering walls of water on each side while the ground beneath became dry. And they just walked through, the Israelites. But when the army followed, the miracle suddenly ended. The waters collapsed back into place, swallowing all the pursuing soldiers. That's one of my favorites from the Bible for sure. And there's more that we'll cover as well. What do you think about that one?
That's one of those that's been around, as long as I can remember. I can, remember as a child learning about that one. And like you said, they have come up with what they're pretty sure is evidence over, the last several decades. So I'm that person. I am a very healthy, what's a good word for it? Hopeful skeptic on most stuff. There's very little I totally rule out because one, I wasn't there back then, but there are enough things that I think add up to possibly, very possibly.
Very possibly.
Mm-hmm.
There's all kinds of amazing miracles like that. Now, I know you're still working on the Twitter, so I'm trying to buy time.
Okay, that's all right. I'm done with the Twitter. Fingers crossed that I did it right. But looking at our count at the moment, I'm going to say I probably didn't. That's okay. So I want to talk about the man who survived 2 nuclear bombs.
Oh yeah, that fella.
Yeah, so during the final days of World War II, there was a Japanese engineer named Tsutomu Yamaguchi, and he just happened to be in Hiroshima on business trip the morning the first atomic bomb detonated in 1949 or 45. He was burned and injured, but he managed to survive the blast and traveled back home to Nagasaki. And 3 days later, wouldn't you just know it, he was actually in his office describing the Hiroshima explosion to coworkers when the second bomb detonated over the city. He survived that blast as well and lived into his 90s. Statistically, surviving either is extraordinary, but surviving both really kind of borders on unbelievable. So then it comes down to, was this the most incredible stroke of luck in modern history? Or, maybe it was divine intervention.
Yeah, I mean, that one right there's a fun one. Fun for us, but not for him.
Right.
I always imagine that he went to work, the bomb went off, he's like, damn it, and then crawls out of rubble and goes back home. He's like, oh man, it's been a rough week. And he's sitting there just describing, he's like, but what really sucks is I still gotta work. And then boom, another one goes off, and then he still has to go back to work until he's 90 years old.
Right. And one of the things that I did not look up, and I'm going to look it up right now, is I wonder if he stayed in Nagasaki or if he said, you know what, I'm going to move out to the country somewhere away from all these cities. Where did Tomu Yamaguchi live out his life?
He passed away in Nagasaki, so
yeah.
so he stayed.
But he lived out his life, so yeah.
So I would assume it's one of those situations where lightning can't strike twice, you know. Even though it did.
Well, speaking of which, between 1942 and 1977, a park ranger named Roy Sullivan, working in the Shenandoah National Park, was struck by lightning not once, not twice, but 7 times.
That's nuts.
Each strike injured him, sometimes severely, even setting his hair on fire. And, you know, the odds of being struck by lightning one time is like astronomical. But 7 separate strikes, I mean, what the hell? I mean, why him? You know, what? He wasn't extraordinarily tall. You know, I could see if it were somebody that was 6'4" or something, you know. Okay, but
we totally not. I wish he was here to collaborate this, because I think this is right. We know somebody that's been struck like twice.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know. I've been outside in thunderstorms and stuff like that so much, and I used to like be like, man, it'd be cool if I got struck by lightning. And now it's a true fear of mine. Like, even if it starts sprinkling, I'm afraid to get out of the car. I'm like, man, if I get struck by lightning now, I'm dead.
But you know, the thing about it is, you know, they say that, you know, oh, well, it's not that unusual if you're at high risk, like, you know, chronic exposure is how they put it, working, living outdoors and being in lightning prone areas. I'm sorry, but there are 100 people there and I'm the one.
Yeah,
that doesn't even make sense.
No, I mean, things like that, they do seem to be a miracle, but I wonder what the ultimate goal is. Like, do these people go on to do anything great? You know what I mean? Or do they just continue to live out their life? Was it not their time? Did they slip into a parallel universe and then they wake up here with us? You know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe there's something that draws it because you have that extra energy. Maybe you are slipping in and out, and there's something that when you're coming back in, it happens to be the right set of circumstances to magnetize you or make you act as like a lightning rod.
Yeah, that'd be wild. Oh, what about the old chick that fell 33,000 feet and fell and lived?
Was that which there were two? Which one was she?
I'm talking about Vesna Volvok.
Okay. All right.
Volvok. In 1972, she was on a Siberian flight. She was a flight attendant. And when the plane exploded midair, boom, and she fell over 6 miles without a parachute after being trapped in the wreckage. Miraculously, she survived with multiple broken bones, and she was temporarily paralyzed. But she still holds that record for falling the furthest. Could you imagine that? Falling 33,000 feet.
Yeah, because there was another girl in 71. It was 17-year-old Julianne Koepke. She was flying over the Amazon aboard Lanza Flight 508 when the aircraft was struck by lightning. Here's you another situation. And it broke apart midair. She was still strapped into her seat, and she fell roughly 2 miles through the sky into the jungle canopy below. Miraculously, she survived the fall with injuries and wandered alone through the rainforest for 11 days before being rescued. She was the only survivor of the crash. Nice. The scientists think that it was the jungle canopy that slowed her fall. But still, like I said, it's 3 times further than 6 miles, but what are the odds of you surviving 2 miles?
People reach a max max speed anyway. Otherwise, it's like 120 miles an hour or something.
Yep.
I mean, it's possible. I've known people that's fell off pretty tall cliffs that's lived. So yeah, I guess anything's possible.
But I knew somebody one time that fell off of a chair and 3 days later was gone.
Yeah.
I mean, but like I said, just the sheer fact that you had 2 people in a 2-year period that survived that kind of crash.
Speaking of that, we went out to buy stuff today, like falling, just randomly falling. As we know, I had a couple little incidents earlier in the year, within a week apart. And today we was preparing for the next disaster with the toilet, buying stuff like this will fix it. If it don't, I'm gonna take a sledgehammer to it next time. um and Mandy, I was like, we need to buy this slip mat for the shower. I was like, oh man, I finally reached the age to where we have to have that.
Yeah. You know, when I was a kid, and they may still have them, and I just don't know it because I don't have this kind of stuff. But my mom used to have them in our bathtub that were shaped like flowers. They were all these pastel colors, and just the whole bottom of the tub would be covered in them.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't tell you the best part about this.
What's that?
Before it flushed itself, I was like, I consider myself, fairly intelligent sometimes. Totally would disagree. So I know that they had these plungers that you can pump and then it shoots air and pump and push it out. We didn't have one of those, but I got a shop vac that you can run on reverse and it shoots air out. So I was like, I'm gonna use this damn thing. So I was like, I need a good seal on this. So I took some old socks and put rubber bands around them real good. I was like, yeah, that's nice and tight. That'd do right there. So I put it in the toilet and turn it on. And then filthy water, shoots out like a volcano all over me and all over the bathroom floor.
Of course it.
And then it still didn't unclog at that point. I'm feeling like everything I did to it this morning though led to the miracle I witnessed. So I don't know. But it was about 10 minutes before like work actually started, and so yeah, that was fun. So
Yeah, you work from home?
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I thought so, but I couldn't remember for sure. But yeah. Those are not the kind of mornings you want.
Yeah. And poor old Mandy. She worked from home this morning too. And we work in separate rooms, and she thought, I don't know, I guess the screaming that I was doing was the equivalent of like just pure, straight, unsaturated anger that she's never really heard before, and I think it freaked her out a little bit. Like I was pretty upset.
Yep.
In theory, it should have worked, but it didn't. Don't do that if you're listening.
Now, I was going to say, as you were describing, I was thinking of all the possible scenarios, and that was probably the top one.
Yeah, it made sense, but I was already pissed off before I even thought about doing it, and so I wasn't thinking too clear. And I was like, "Well, this should work, damn it!" And like it just didn't work.
I gotcha.
Yeah, right there. That's pretty much what happened.
I love it. Oh, and by the way, if you're looking for some really cool apparel to wear in the folk family portrait.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yep.
Don't forget to go and buy you some stuff. The bumper sticker is pretty tight. We still got the Wear Stevens shirt. Everything's still up right now. Unfortunately, the discount went away. I'm thinking about asking Tully to take this down and put it back up so I can buy some more stuff. And right here we got some nice designs. This one right here will be going away soon because Landa has requested a giraffe in a suit. So I'm working on something to do with that. I forgot who it was, but they wanted to put a big booty on it, so I'm going to do that too. We're here for the people.
That's right.
Yeah,
you requested, and we'll make it happen.
Make sure to go there. You can get there through linktree.com/wearingthefolk. It's right there at the top.
Yep. All right. So miracles. In May of 1940, during the early days of World War II, more than 300,000 Allied soldiers found themselves trapped on the beaches of Dunkirk as German forces rapidly advanced. With enemy troops closing in and the sea at their backs, the situation looked hopeless. Then a series of unlikely events unfolded. German armored divisions unexpectedly halted their advance while a thick cloud cover and fog settled over the area, limiting the attacks from the German Air Force. At the same time, an improvised fleet of naval vessels and hundreds of civilian boats crossed the English Channel to evacuate the stranded troops. Over 9 days, more than 330,000 soldiers were rescued in what became known as Operation Dynamo. Many in Britain later referred to the outcome as the Miracle of Dunkirk, believing that a combination of weather timing and sheer improbability had allowed an entire army to escape what should have been certain capture or destruction. I like
That's
that one.
cool. That's pretty cool, actually.
Yep.
I don't know. Like, I think I misunderstood the goal.
Yeah.
Let's see. I've got really long stuff here. Let's see. Oh, Miracle of the Sun, 1917.
Oh, cool.
Before I do that, Nick's wanting me to show a picture because he always knows how to make me laugh when I'm literally about ready to call it quits. Very thankful for that guy. So let me pull this up. This is just one of them. Right when I'm in my biggest crash out phase, and I finally got a little relief. We start getting little pictures like this. The smile is not accurate, but everything else is pretty accurate there.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Yeah.
I might put that on a shirt.
Oh, God. I probably won't order that one. But hey, if that's what you're into, then by all means.
But on October 13th, 1917, a massive crowd gathered in a muddy field outside a small Portuguese town. The place was called Fatima. Three shepherd children had been claiming for months that the Virgin Mary appeared to them delivering prophetic, I can't say words, messages.
Yeah.
Many believed them. Others came hoping to expose fraud. More than 70,000 people stood waiting in the rain. Then something strange happened. You know what happened?
What happened?
Witnesses began shouting and pointing toward the sky. They said the sun began to move. Reports described the sun spinning like a wheel, flashing colors across the sky and zigzagging through the sky before plunging toward the earth. People screamed, they prayed, and they fell to their knees, believing the world was ending. Then just as suddenly, the sun returned to its normal place. Even more mysterious, many witnesses said that their soaking wet clothes and the muddy ground dried instantly. Newspaper at the time reported the event, including skeptical journalists who said they had seen something unusual. Scientists later suggest the phenomenon may be an optical effect caused by staring directly at the sun too long. Because I do know, when I was a kid and I stared at the sun too long, it danced around and changed colors, and it came straight toward me and dried everything around me instantly.
Right.
But the sheer number of witnesses continued to make the miracle of the sun one of the most debated supernatural events of the 20th century. That'd be fun. I'd love to see something like that.
Oh, yeah. And I get tickled when they're like, oh, well, it was just a mass hallucination. I'm sorry. I don't believe in mass hallucinations unless there are good drugs involved. And even then, if enough people say the exact same thing, I'm going to question the quality of the drugs. That's just me. I mean, I just, like I said, I think in a lot of cases that people just brush things off without really even attempting to give it any credence. And how often on a daily basis is science in the world proving things that were impossible 10 years ago, 50 years ago? So
I mean, it's pretty cool, really. I mean, I feel like I've been part of a lot of miracles in my life. Like when I was a kid, I was crazy as hell. I did all kinds of stupid shit.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I've been hit by cars. I've jumped off a cliff. I've done a lot of different stupid things that should have probably taken me out,
Yep.
but I always came out pretty well. You know,
Mm-hmm. Right.
um, I think it's a luck thing. I don't push that luck anymore because I
Well,
done
you
a
know,
lot.
when you get older, it takes longer to bounce back from those things that you didn't really care one way or another about back in the day. At least that's my personal experience.
Yeah, yeah.
So, you know.
What you got?
Okay, so I have the resurrection of Sister Wilhelmina.
Ooh.
So, and this was a recent one. In 2023, a surprising discovery drew national attention to a small Benedictine monastery near Gower. 4 years after her burial, the body of Sister Wilhelmina Lancaster, who was the founder of the Benedictines of Mary, Queen of Apostles, was exhumed as part of preparations to remove her remains to a shrine. What astonished those present was that the body actually appeared unusually well preserved, despite being buried in a simple wooden coffin, and she was not embalmed. In the Catholic tradition, such preservation is sometimes called, referred to as the incorruptibility, a condition historically associated with certain saints and regarded by some believers as a possible sign of holiness. News of the discovery spread quickly, and thousands of pilgrims traveled to the monastery to see the remains for themselves. And while church officials have urged caution and have not officially declared the event miraculous, the case has sparked debate among believers, skeptics, and scientists about how natural conditions, burial environments, and human expectations can shape the way we interpret unusual events surrounding death and preservation. So my understanding is, because I used to, when I was younger, didn't realize that until I started getting deep into the true crime and stuff like that. The human body can actually deteriorate pretty quickly, in depending on the circumstances and everything. But a body that's been underground for 4 years with no kind of protection, no vault, nothing, just a wooden box and a body. 4 years is a long time to bring somebody out, because I mean, I looked at some of the pictures and everything. She looked pretty damn good for a 4 years under.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of there was a lot of different ways that they preserved bodies and stuff back in the day too.
Mm-hmm.
That leave a lot of people, like there's a little girl that was preserved really well. Now this is going to be a gold trigger warning for anybody, because I'm about ready to show a video as soon as I find it. Let's see. Uh-oh. Her name was Rosalia Lombardo. Now, this one right here, there was a video of her, and I'm trying to find it right now, where it looks like she opened her eyes, but we know that this can be a bunch of. Actually, I don't think I want to show this video. Should I show it?
Sure.
All
I
right.
mean,
all right. Let me see if I can find one. Let's see. I'm trying to find a video of it, and it's not wanting to show me. All right, here we go. Let me see if I can get to it. Go ahead. Go ahead and keep talking about something else.
okay, I'll keep talking. As a matter of fact, while you're looking that up, I'm going to show a picture of Sister Wilhelmina. If I can get it to pull up here. Now, of course, everything that I've got is just totally.
Everything's just broke.
So I'll move on to a different story. How about that? I have another one available. So the shipwreck survivor in the dark. So in 2013, a tugboat sank off the coast of Nigeria, and divers were sent down days later to recover bodies. Inside the wreck, they found something totally unexpected. The ship's cook Harrison O'Keene had survived for nearly 3 days trapped inside a small air pocket in the overturned vessel 100 feet underwater. The rescue divers' cameras captured the moment he suddenly encountered a living human hand reaching out of the darkness of the wreck. It's one of the most chilling survival videos ever recorded. And the thing about it is, like I said, they're like, oh, well, an air pocket, but still, what are the odds of a person being able to find that air pocket and it being in the right place at the right time?
Yeah, no doubt.
I mean, I know my luck. There's not going to be an air pocket to be found. So,
yeah, I have the worst luck. Now this is, I can't find the video I was looking for, so I'll just show a picture of how well preserved this child is. Right here in a second. Let me get the backstory of her up here. Rosalia. So this child was born in 1918 and passed away in 1920 at 1 year, 359 days in Sicily. Now they say that the embalming techniques so well preserved the body that all the organs are still intact as well. And she's kept in a small chapel at the end of the catacombs. So let me get this pulled up. Again, if you don't want to see this, I would turn my head. It is a deceased child. But there's a video of this kid online, if you can find it, opening her eyes right here.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. That's what she's still
she's beautiful.
Yeah.
Nick, how dare you curse us with daylight savings time?
Oh, yeah, daylight savings time.
Fudge. I hate that.
It's the only time of the year you get to travel into the future.
Leave me in the past where I belong. Have a good night and a good weekend, Nick. If you're around tomorrow night, we'll be back.
Yeah. But that right there, like, I don't know, like, what happened to certain embalming techniques and why are things not remembered well? Like this, that they strictly like say that was from an embalming technique that was used back then. But the opening her eyes and stuff, if you can find that video, it's actually kind of wild. It's probably been scrubbed or something. I don't know. Or I'm just not able to find anything today. Today was stressful. But
and it could definitely be either or, because like I said, how many times has Tully gone in and had videos pulled up and then just boom, they're gone.
That's true. But let's see. Let's find us another miracle. I feel like we're going to run out of them soon.
Well, on the other side of that, though, we've got all the conspiracy theories that are coming true. I mean, so
there was a Truman Duncan, this fellow in 2006 who was a railroad worker, and he slipped while switching trains, and moving train literally cut him in half at his pelvis.
Ew.
Yeah, and he used his shirt as a tourniquet and called 911 and survived for years afterwards. So that's pretty impressive. I wonder how that occurs with somebody. That has to be like, there has to be some kind of luck involved or something, like maybe guardian angels. I don't know what you call it.
Dare I say a miracle?
A miracle could be.
Yeah, no, I definitely think, because like I said, there are just too many incidences of things that should have totally went south. That didn't. Like I said, I mean, and of course, there are things that have disappeared and stuff, like those embalming techniques and stuff like that. But and of course, they didn't have the technology back then, Cecil, that we have today.
I have a firm belief that they have way more technology back then than what we have today.
Oh yeah.
Greek, the fire. What? It ain't Greek fire. Is it Greek fire?
It's that sounds right. Oh God.
My brain, like I'm literally getting back to where I can think right now. And it's hard to do that on a good day.
Yes.
But
Greek fire.
Greek fire, like we no longer know how to make that. We no longer really know how to make Roman concrete, which is way more superior than the concrete we have today.
Yep.
I've even went as far as to ask our concrete man friend, how do you make it? He's like, oh, it ain't no good stuff. I was like, it's still around though, like,
Oh, yeah, there's a recipe. It's probably in the Vatican. But,
there's a lot of that stuff, and you got to think about the Library of Alexandria, was it?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like it's untelling what was there before that was destroyed, and all that stuff had to be moved somewhere. So I love to get a hold of that, or somebody that actually knows how to read that, get a hold of it, and relay it to us. Like it's untelling what we've lost over the years. That some of these miracles, like from the biblical times, could have been due to ancient technology of some kind. Like when Lazarus rose from the dead, so
totally can get behind that.
Or another one, feeding of the 5,000 in the Bible. Imagine standing in a vast field with thousands of hungry people and almost no food. This is this is the setting of one of the most famous miracles attributed to Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
According to the Gospels, Jesus had been traveling and teaching across the countryside, drawing enormous crowds eager to hear him speak. One day, thousands followed him into a remote area far from any towns or markets. And as the evening approached, a problem became very clear. There weren't no food. The disciples urged Jesus to send the people away so they could find something to eat in the nearby villages, but Jesus had another idea. He asked the crowd to sit down. And then a boy came forward with the only meat anyone could find, 5 small loaves of bread and 2 fish. Hardly enough to feed a handful of people. So Jesus took the food, looked toward heaven, and gave thanks, and then began breaking the bread and fish into pieces and handing it to the disciples to distribute amongst the crowd. And after this, something extraordinary happened. It didn't run out. People kept eating and eating and eating. So that might have been like some kind of technology, I think. Like some kind of multiplying technology. Or it could have been divine intervention. It's really hard to say. Miracles are one of them things that's what it is. It's a miracle. We can't explain exactly what caused it to happen. So,
well, and here's the thing. Okay, because I'm saving a couple of things for when Stephen gets on, because I have questions. So, we'll. I should probably
said the Bible stuff.
There's still plenty. There's still plenty. I've got a list of it. So I'll tell you one that I really liked. Okay, the woman who wouldn't sink, Violet Jessup. She was aboard the RMS Olympic when it collided with another ship. She was on the RMS Titanic when it hit an iceberg. And then a few years after that, she was on the HMHS Britannic that struck a mine and sank in the Mediterranean. She survived all 3 disasters. They refer to her as Miss Unsinkable. Maybe, and here's a thought, she was the reason that all those sank. Maybe she had a curse on her.
Wouldn't that be the kick in the ass right there? I thought he was going another way at first. I was like, maybe she sank these things.
Right. But no, they did. They referred to her as Miss Unsinkable because of the fact that she was on all 3 of those. And like I said, she survived, 3 separate incidences over like a 6-year period. But, I remember the story of Typhoid Mary. She survived, the typhoid fever all this time. And it came to be that she was a carrier. She was carrying it from location to location. So, hey, Mandy.
Hello, Manda.
So, I forgot something very important.
There was a show. I can't remember which one it was. It might have been American Horror Stories. Not American Horror Story, but Stories.
Right.
where you brought up Typhoid Mary, where it kind of reminded me of that. There was a woman with bowls all over her,
Hmm.
and so she was like, "Drink of my bowls" to people and stuff like that, and she was
Hmm.
like a healer, and like they'd pop these disgusting bowls and drink, but there was some kind of famine going around
Hmm.
that was killing people. But if you did that, then it cured you or something. I need to watch that again. I can't remember what that
Hmm.
was on. Hmm. Hmm.
Huh.
That's intrusive thought. Sorry.
No. That's like I said. I was actually looking up Violet Jessup because I was curious. Um, she was born in Argentina in 1887. When she was 4 years old, she was feverish and unable to breathe. When she woke up on a Monday morning, her parents rushed her to the doctor and they told her she would not survive for more than a few weeks. So make her happy all throughout her remaining time. So she's actually survived more than just 3 shipwrecks.
That's wild.
Um, yeah. And that's they said that her father passed away in 1908 when she was young, and then her mother got ill, so she dropped out of school and went in search of a job. She applied to be a stewardess in the Argentina Maritime, but she got rejected because only middle-aged ladies were selected for the post. And said, she was a beautiful girl, gray eyes, auburn hair, and she was just so young. So finally, what she did was wore shaggy clothes, covered her hair, and appeared without any makeup. And then she finally got hired in 1911 on the RMS Olympic.
Nice.
But yeah, on her 5th journey, it collided with the HMS Hawk and damaged both ships. Many passengers, were injured and they had to call off the journey, but she escaped without so much as a mark. And so, of course, then they built the sister of the Olympic, which was the Titanic. And we know the story of that. Everybody knows the story of that. And so
well, we know the story they tell.
well, that's right. There you go. But the thing about it is she went over and above trying to rescue people. When everybody else was jumping into boats, she was helping get people off. And she still made it out.
Nice.
Yeah. And so then, like I said, then she ended up during World War I serving as a British Red Cross nurse. And she was ordered to serve on the medical ship, the HMHS Britannic. And that was the sister ship to the Titanic and the Olympics. So sounds to me like that company really didn't need to be building boats.
Well, they
somebody,
were ships. Unsinkable.
Yep, exactly. So she said that, it was struck by a mine, started to sink. Then her lifeboat was unable to move and was about to go under the running propellers. She hit her head on the keel and went totally blank and then woke up the next morning. She served as a stewardess until she was 63 years old.
That's wild.
Yep.
So let's take a look at this woman right here. What do you reckon her story is? Just looking at her.
Well, she's on a mountain.
Yeah, yep. So what this is Anna Bagenholm. Mm-hmm. She is a person whose heart stopped for over an hour and she came back alive. In 1999, she was a skier and she fell through the ice while skiing in Norway. She became trapped under the frozen lake for 80 minutes and her body temperature dropped to 56.7 degrees Fahrenheit. And her heart stopped during this whole time. And they brought her back to life, and she lives a full life, I guess. Doctors later called her survival one of the most extreme hypothermia recoveries ever recorded. I would say so. If your heart stops for an hour, then But this right here, this is one of those things that kind of, oh no, what just happened? But this is one of those things that kind of lays into the conspiracy of freezing bodies, like to be relived, to be awoken later. Like this was done naturally, so it would sure be done. Like,
oh yeah, well, and a perfect example. And I really feel like that this is a lot of the stuff that goes on that we don't get told about because, we're not in the right class of people. There's a frog that literally freezes every winter and thaws out in the spring and comes back. I mean, so why would there not be people out there experimenting and testing and trying to duplicate that?
Well,
So yeah, I honestly, like I say, she did it. I mean, I would think that she would have been more apt to have died from asphyxiation and drowning because, like I said, but when her heart stopped, of course, then everything starts pumping. She's not breathing. So she's not breathing water in. So the cold, I would think, probably saved her life because, when you get cold, you don't move a whole lot.
no.
I mean, the colder you get, the stiller you get. That's why they tell you when you're super cold and in an emergency situation, you need to get up and move to keep your body heat up.
Yeah.
So,
I agree with that. So we're at 7:48. Do you want to take a little break?
Yep. Let's take a break till top of the hour, and then we will get Mr. Stephen Hill on here. And I bet you he's got stuff you and me never even thought about.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I guarantee it. So everybody tune back in right here at the top of the hour in about 12 minutes, and we're going to take us a little break, and we'll be right back.
There's more! Bees are dying, and our survival depends on them. That's why 4RB's created the Pure Wave Cell, a breakthrough quantum device proven to help hives thrive, doubling colonies and boosting honey production naturally. Every jar of our Pure Wave honey fuels this mission, supporting beekeepers worldwide. Visit 4RBs.com. That's the number 4RBs.com, and use code WITF for 20% off. Save the bees! Save us all!
Welcome back, everybody. I hope everybody had a good little session there.
Absolutely. So I thought about something while we were on a break, because a lot of these, the naysayers, it's like, oh well, maybe these are just violations of nature and they're just whatever. But maybe they're those rare moments when probability and physics and the human experience just line up in ways we can't understand yet.
Maybe.
So, hey, Alan.
Hey, Ellen. While we were on break, I had a Mennonite donut, and it was so good. So good.
Well, I had a donut today, which I rarely do, and it was not a Mennonite donut, just for the record.
Donuts, the donuts
Crystal and Alan, Landon, everyone.
And Stephen.
How you doing, Stephen?
I'm good. Am I lagging behind again?
A little bit. It's all right though. We'll give you 3 seconds to respond.
Because you're moving. You're not still at all. So
Okay. Well, that is good. That's real good.
yeah. And your lips are lining up. So I'm gonna say, and I'm not watching you on social media either. So that
Okay.
It's all good.
Here's one that I thought was really cool. In 1995, reports spread across India that statues of the Hindu deity Ganesha were drinking milk offered on spoons. Within hours, millions of people across the country began testing the phenomena themselves. There were television crews that filmed the milk appearing to disappear when it touched the statue's lips. So, of course, science later explained that the effects as capillary action drawing liquid into the stone's surface. But all over the country, I could see, okay, here was a spot that was really hot that day, and the minute liquid touched it, it absorbed it. But yeah.
Why can't they do that for our roads? Like, let's build them out of that stuff.
Yeah,
Well,
there you go.
Yeah, supposedly they have that technology now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yes.
Yeah, the concrete
Yes.
soaks it up. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Well, recently I was seeing, I forget where it was somewhere overseas, that they actually have put something in roads that allows it to charge electric vehicles while they're driving across it.
Yeah, it's where was that? It was in I was thinking that it wasn't here. I was thinking it was in a different country.
Yes, I do believe that is the fact. Okay, roads that charge.
There's my dad was telling me about this idea he had like back in the early 90s. He's like, if anybody want to run an electric car, you have to do is make it run off batteries. And you can make it run forever if you just have the little connector on your wheel and it just continuously spinning, recharging them batteries.
Yeah.
And I was like, and when we started getting electric cars, I was like, why don't they do that? Like,
yeah, I don't know. I mean, have you ever spun an alternator? I mean, they spin freely. So
exactly. Yeah.
It is in Sweden, but that said, there are test pilot programs right now in Detroit, Florida, Pennsylvania, and Utah.
Okay.
Now, the road that they're testing it on in Detroit's only a quarter of a mile long, but you got to start somewhere. So, but, like I said, I mean, it's interesting where it could go.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Linda. It's because it would be free. That's why we don't have it. So,
That can't argue with
yeah,
that logic. So,
yeah. Oh man,
okay, Stephen, miracles.
miracles.
Uh-huh.
That's what we're talking
I'll start off with a funny one. How's
Okay.
that? I was back when I used to play softball all the time, and I was going through Old Washington, headed to Hope for a softball tournament, and there was this guy. He was barely moving down the shoulder of the road on crutches. I mean, he was just barely getting along. And there was a vehicle in front of me driving slower than what I wanted to go. So we were in a Dodge Intrepid at the time, and so I floored it. And you know how the engine makes a louder noise whenever the passing gear kicks in.
Oh yeah.
When the car did that, this guy turned around and looked at the car. He picked up his crutches and took off running. So,
I have to say, beyond question, I was not expecting. I didn't know where I was expecting that story to go, but that was not it.
Divine intervention.
Yes, yes.
Yes. So I saw a man who was on crutches just seconds before takeoff running. So,
I love it. I love it. That is divine intervention.
Definition of it.
So in April of 1561, the residents of Nuremberg reported witnessing something extraordinary in the morning sky. According to a printed broadsheet from the time, so this isn't just word of mouth that's come forward. There is actually physical, documentation from the time. Hundreds of people saw strange objects appear above the city. There were spheres, crosses, and long cylindrical shapes. Witnesses claimed the objects moved rapidly through the sky as if engaged in a battle, darting back and forth before many of them appeared to crash to the earth outside the city. The event was recorded by a printer named Hans Glasser, who described it as a warning from God. Today's historians debate whether the phenomena was from an unusual atmospheric display. Of course they do. An early mass sighting of unidentified aerial phenomena, or simply a misunderstood natural event. But the fact remains that an entire city reported watching a war in the sky.
yes. I don't know. It's yeah. See, I don't know. I think that's the thing we've probably gotten away from is supernatural events actually taking place.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that. There are other stories, from different wars that have taken place where I don't know. That's why I guess whether good story, bad story, whatever. It's a story that I've heard from Israel. It's during the 6-Day War in 67. The Egyptians literally abandoned their tanks, took off their shoes, and took off running back toward Egypt because they felt they could run faster without their shoes on because they could see just countless paratroopers dropping down out of the sky.
Mm-hmm.
And there weren't any paratroopers dropping down. So, was that angels? This was a real event. That's so that was one of them. I've heard. Different things like that. But yeah, there's I don't know. Maybe with that one, it was they got a glimpse of an unseen war that's taking place.
Right.
So,
Because, allegedly at that time period, that was the Dark Ages, supposedly there was no technology coming out, no new ideas or anything like that. So for them to describe it that way, I'm sorry, but just regular aerial phenomena, I don't think so. I mean,
right.
I've seen a lot of crazy stuff in the sky and gone, oh yeah, the sky's been insane today. But I never likened it to looking like a war going on. So
I mean, like if you look at it over history, there's signs like all over the Middle East, especially where they can find some kind of devastating like leftovers of like what we would consider nuclear bombs and things of this nature, just everywhere, and they get them on Mars too. Like, and then of course you have the biblical accounts of fire chariots and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I mean, people describe what they know. Like we know that we talked about that 100 times.
Mhm.
So I mean, it's untelling what that could have been. Like it could have been warring fractions of alien civilization. Could have been angels fighting demons.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's untelling what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know, and that's one of the questions that kind of comes up is what really counts as a miracle? Because to me, seeing that kind of thing in the sky and surviving it, especially in a time of such small technological advances,
Right.
to me, that would seem like a miracle to those people, which is why I saved it.
Yeah.
But you know, and there are just tons of biblical references, or not necessarily even outside of biblical, but religious miracles, you know,
Right.
and everything across time. So, you know, what constitutes a miracle? You know, surviving falling 6 miles out of the sky. Absolutely, that's a miracle.
Yeah. Yeah. And survived it.
That's it. You know, live to tell the tale. I mean,
That's
that. Yes. You know, I have this friend that's been hit by a car before.
Oh yeah.
It's absolutely amazing, and it's a miracle that he's still with us.
You know what's crazy about that is me, my brother, and my sister, all three have been hit by cars.
Wow.
At different times. My sister got the worst of it.
Mhm.
I was on the 4-wheeler when I got hit. So they kind of hit the 4-wheeler more than they hit me, but since both flying, my brother got clipped. My sister got hit head on, like by a big Buick walking across the road in Florida. She got pugged up. She died a couple times and everything.
Wow.
So I think that's just like the way that goes, you know.
Well, I mean, just as an example, and not that she's been actually hit as, you know, personally, but my daughter has been rear-ended 3 times in the last 15 years. It totaled the vehicle out all 3 times. Not just a deploying of the airbags. I mean, totaled them out, because the last one, the girl that hit her, and all 3 times she was at a dead standstill. I mean, sitting at a stoplight or whatever. But the last one, the lady that hit her said, well, I was going to swerve to miss you, but there was a guy next to you that had a dog in the back of his truck. She had 2 car seats in the back seat. 2 car seats, you know.
That's so similar to what happened to me when I got my back broke.
Yeah.
In my car wreck. I was sitting at a red light and a guy hit me going full speed in a full-size truck. And the reason he said he hit me was because the truck in the left lane had their taillights were too dark.
Too dark.
Too dark. It distracted him because the taillights were too dark. So he hit me square in the ass.
He was like a bug drawn to the light.
Yeah.
So it's your fault. It's your fault, Cecil. Your lights were too young bright.
I was sitting at a red light, just had left work. And it's my fault. I wish Tully was here. That is when Minecraft first came out, and me and Tully used to work out together. And this particular night, he's like, "You staying to work out with me?" I was like, "Nah, man, I gotta go home and build some empires." And about 10 minutes later, I was fucking in the hospital.
Teach you to ditch the gym.
But I did get to stay at home and build some empires after that for a while.
Yeah, I bet. You had plenty of time.
So, and here's a question. So, even if there is a scientific explanation, and even if it may sound valid, does that cancel the fact that it really is a miracle? You know, I mean, just because they saved the woman's life who fell out of the plane 6 miles, does not, to me, negate the fact that she lived, period. Still makes it a miracle.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah, whenever you look at things like that, yeah, it's I don't know. That's for one, yeah, I still believe that miraculous things still do happen in modern times. You know, it's
oh yeah,
yeah,
I think. Yeah, I think sometimes that things that truly are miracles, people like to brush it off because
Right.
there isn't a clear-cut explanation.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
So
know,
yeah, a lot of times the real ones are probably the ones that are downplayed the most. You know,
mhm,
it's they don't get all the news and the hype and everything else. It's and I don't think that would be accidental.
mhm. Oh yeah.
Have you heard of the miracle of the Lanciano?
Let's see.
So there's a small Italian town of Lanciato. A story's been passed down for more than 1,000 years. According to tradition, sometime in the 8th century, a monk was celebrating the Christian Mass, but the monk had doubts. He questioned whether the bread and wine used in communion was truly represented the body and blood of Christ.
Oh, yeah.
As the story goes, during the service, something extraordinary happened. The bread in his hand changed. It became flesh, and the wine in the chalice transformed into blood.
Really?
The shocked monk showed the congregation what had occurred. The relics were preserved and eventually placed in a church where they remain to this day. I'd like to find a picture of that if we can. But that's pretty cool. Would you consider that? Because this is what's weird. They've done studies on it, and the blood was identified as AB, the same blood type reported in several other religious relics. And skeptics argue that the contamination or misrepresentation could explain the findings.
Oh,
But
yeah.
but that's wild, ain't it? Like, what would you do if you're sitting there and you're out of communion and like you're holding this bread and then all of a sudden it becomes floppy flesh? Ew.
Yeah. I'm not quite sure how I would feel about that. But now on that blood, I believe they still have that blood in a I don't know, some kind of container,
Yeah,
and it still moves around, I believe.
yeah.
It's
So let's see.
and I if I'm thinking of the right I'm thinking of the right one. And the way they were trying to explain that away on that blood, is that it would enough people in the room that it warms up the room, and that's why the blood can keep moving around, all that stuff. So
Well,
it's-
actually, I'm glad you brought that up because I didn't remember that I've heard about this until you brought that up. It turns into dust for a minute,
yeah,
and then it will liquefy again.
yes,
Like you're saying, how does the heat do that? How does it turn dried blood back into liquid? That doesn't make sense.
yeah, that doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
So
They try to explain everything away, like, and
yes,
they're like, oh well, the heat does this, and then moisture gets in the air, then it gets into
Yeah.
this silk container.
Yeah.
Like,
so,
Of course. Of course. I mean, that's always, I think that's always going to be the situation. Because like I said, it just not most people, but I'm going to say a lot of people can't have they have to have a clean story. It's, there's got to be an explanation for it. It can't just be taken at face value. Sorry, I heard a boom outside. My dog's had a meltdown. Hey, Shelby.
Hey, Shelby, imagine that somebody that's a pretty prolific person passes away now, either through execution or natural causes, and we put them in their tomb or in the grave, and 2 or 3 days later, they show up surrounded in light, like in modern times.
right.
What would they say was the explanation of that? Like,
how would that be explained away?
well, what happened was they didn't really check to make sure he's passed away, but he dug himself out and then he got radiated somehow.
Yeah. There would definitely be some kind of excuse or explanation as to why it happened. It's
I think that's the biggest problem with humanity in general anymore. And I'm an overthinker myself. I think people overthink things and they don't just take them at face value anymore. Which I mean, we have to be overthinkers now. We have to be on our toes at all times. It seems like to be like, well, what are they doing? Why are they doing this? Why is this happening? What's that going on? Why's this going on?
Yeah.
But that's what these miracles should have been. They should have been taken at face value and be like, oh, you know, we can't explain it, so miracle. There you go.
Yeah. It's yeah, things like that. You know, it's a friend of mine. He had a massive blood clot in his brain earlier this year. They weren't sure if he was going to survive or not, and he's home.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like people
Fishing
people with these serious medical conditions. I have a good friend of mine that had he was a stage 4 with like some kind of blood cancer. Came out of it, you know, still living to this day. That's a miracle to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, those times, you know, it's I don't remember. I don't know. I think we're all probably guilty of forgetting a lot of things like that right there. You know, where people have been told, doctors to tell them, we've done all we can do. We're just going to let you go home and die. And then boom. I mean, 5, 10, 15 years later, they're still with us, you know. So that's
yeah. In that situation, do you think it's more of a miracle that they came out of it, or that it's simply just like, I firmly believe that we all have a time. I don't know if it's tied to religion. You know, I grew up really religious. I backslid for many, many decades. And now I'm coming back around, but I still can't fathom, you know, the religious aspect completely yet. But something has to be there. And do you think it's more miracle based, or that's just not their time? You know what I mean?
To me, I've always thought that people have I don't know. I've had this conversation with a lot of people, you know, and we're most of them I've talked to, you know, we're all under the belief that when it's your time, it's your time to go. You know, it doesn't matter. You can trip and fall and bump your head, and that's it. Then somebody can fall out of an airplane for 6 miles, and they did. Yeah. You know, it really, you really don't know. You know, I mean, people who I've known a lot of people, you know, they've gone to the doctor, had a good bill of health, tell them they're really healthy, and within 2 days, we're reading their obituary.
Well,
you know, and so it's you know, with a lot of that stuff right there, I think that's what it is. You know, everybody has a certain amount of time to do whatever they're supposed to be doing.
I agree. That's a good. I agree with that. So the incredible. Oh my god! Incorruptible bodies. The bodies that cannot be corrupted. Damn it.
Well, you got it out.
Throughout history, certain religious figures have been buried, yet their bodies never fully decompose. These figures are known as the word I was trying to say, saints.
Oh, yeah.
The Catholic tradition, the discovery of a body that resists decay is sometimes interpreted as signs of holiness. One of the most famous examples is Bernadette Cerberius, the woman associated with the Vision of Lourdes. When her body was exhumed a decade after her death. Have we already talked about this?
No, we talked about Sister, not her, not that one.
All right. When her body was exhumed, witnesses reported it remained remarkably preserved. Similar claims have been made about other saints across Europe and beyond. In some cases, bodies appear almost lifelike centuries after burial. Scientists have proposed several possible explanations: certain soil, cold environments. In some cases, wax masks and things like that are used. But even with these explanations, the phenomenon has continued to fascinate believers and skeptics alike.
Yeah.
So what? These, I don't know why, but ever since I was a little kid, like, you know, post-mortem photography and things like that, I've been fascinated with stuff like that.
Yeah.
And this kind of falls into it. Like, let's see, we'll just pull this up on the intranet.
The internet.
Yeah, the interwebs. as people in my hometown
Yeah.
call it, your states.
Yeah, there was a Scythian princess who was discovered, and she was still in good enough shape that they could see the tattoos that she had and everything else.
Mhm.
So, but of course,
Wasn't there a bog person they found like that
yes, yeah,
15, 20 years ago?
yeah, they found I can't remember what they wound up naming the bog person there, but yeah, they were in really good shape. But they found other bodies, in the peat bogs in Great Britain
Mhm.
that been really well preserved as well. So,
Mhm.
Right here's the one of Bernadette.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, of course, so you
crazy.
can see where I stole this. But
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, bodies naturally preserve as well. And they say, wax, they're using wax and stuff on these people as well. But even the whole figure in a way, and like the hands are the tall tale. Like,
Mhm.
Right.
they discolor like horribly.
Yeah.
But that right there, Morgana, weren't you and Tully were talking about something where they were still getting some kind of a energy vibe off some of these people who had basically mummified themselves?
Yeah. Yeah. There's hell, there was a statue that they ended up finding out was actually a person inside of it sitting in lotus position.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. You were in on that conversation as well. That's
Yeah.
because I was unaware of that.
Mhm. That's here a few years ago, and it's probably, I say a few years ago, but my sense of time of how long ago something during my lifetime happened is getting worse and worse. But
Yes.
a guy had bought a farm, and just something about the scarecrow in the cornfield bothered him, and it ended up being an actual person that somebody had dressed and put up there. And I mean, it was in the late stages. It almost to me looked mummified.
Oh, wow.
But I don't think they ever, or I never saw where they had resolved, what they thought happened or anything like that. Because the guy took a picture of it before the cops got there, so he would have something proof
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah. Because if you don't, I mean, it's funny how that kind of stuff always disappears.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh,
Scarecrow. I gotta look that up.
I'm trying to find a thing. Basically, it was a monk. The one that we were talking about for sure is a monk that's been in a meditative position for like 200 years or something. I'm trying to find some information on him right now. Yeah, he's a Mongolian monk found still seated in lotus position, and people feel like he's still not passed away. He's still just in his enlightenment. And
Really?
it's very hard to find a picture of this now. I don't know why I can't find it. I'm not finding anything tonight. Totally has made me have bad luck. Where the hell's it at?
I love it. He's cursed you. He's
He's
cursed you.
cursed me.
So
I blame him for everything.
while you're looking for that, I've got one that just absolutely fascinates me. So, on the morning of September 11th, 2001, Stanley Premnath was working on the 81st floor of the South Tower of the World Trade Center for Merrill Lynch. After the first plane struck the North Tower, employees in his building were initially told to stay at their desks. But Premnath said he had a strong feeling that something wasn't right and began preparing to leave his office. As he looked out the window, he suddenly saw United Airlines Flight 175 heading directly to the building and towards him. With only seconds to react, he dove under his desk and began praying. Moments later, the plane crashed into the tower, tearing through his floor and destroying much of the surrounding offices. Miraculously, the area where he had taken cover remained intact enough for him to survive the impact. Trapped in the wreckage, he eventually encountered another survivor, and together they found a passable stairwell, the only staircase that remained intact from the impact zone. The two men descended more than 80 floors and escaped the building just minutes before it collapsed. Premnath later said he believes faith guided him that day, while others point to instinct, timing, and extraordinary luck. But either way, the fact that he survived that is incredible.
Right. Yeah, that's and him having I don't know, when things like that happen, it's not necessarily an audible voice that someone hears.
Right.
It's for somebody like me. I believe that I have guardian angels, and it's what I truly believe.
Yep.
Other people refer to them as guides and different things, but I'll go ahead and tell my own story.
Mm-hmm.
It's I've been in Paris, Texas. It's back once again. I was playing softball, and we had finished the tournament, and we were headed home. We'd stopped at a fast food place, and we got food to go. And as I was nearing the edge of the city limits of Paris, we decided to go ahead and stop and pass out the food because we were just going to eat while we were on the road driving. And I pulled up in the mouth of a farm to market road just outside of Paris. And I'd stopped in the mouth of this road. And I didn't hear an audible voice, but I was told, pull up. So I pulled up about 30 feet. I was on the shoulder of the road. I was out of the way of that farm to market road. And about within 30 seconds, a jacked up 4-wheel drive pickup comes down that road. I don't know how they didn't roll over. They were going so fast whenever they turned onto the main highway.
Wow.
And if I hadn't pulled up when I did, it would have, my wife was sitting in the back seat. It would have hit her right in her door.
Yep.
So I mean, there's no way I can know that on my own.
Right.
Is what I'm saying. So.
Well, and that's it. And like I say, I mean, there's always going to be naysayers, that, oh, well, you just got lucky or whatever. But my youngest brother, when he was probably about 19 or 20, there were 4 of them in the car. It was like 2:00 in the morning on a weeknight. So, most people were not out and about at that time.
Right.
And as they were making a sharp curve, the guy driving lost control of the car. They went airborne over a slight rise into a field. They could not be seen from the road. A gentleman just happened to be out. He was a farmer going in a little bit early and heard it. Is the only reason they were found. Well, the guy driving was thrown out of the car. A barbed wire fence caught him and cut him from ear to ear. He lived.
That's good.
The other boy in the front seat had on his seatbelt, and they said, based on the trajectory and everything, had he not been in that seat, in the seatbelt, he'd have been thrown out and probably killed. He didn't have a mark on him. Wow. My brother and his best friend were in the back seat without seatbelts. They were both thrown out. The back seat was about 12 inches high.
Yeah.
I mean, so like I said, you hear, wear your seatbelt, don't wear your seatbelt. That particular incident, there was both in the car. One, if they had not had on the seatbelt, he would have died. If they had had the seatbelt, they'd have both been crushed.
Yeah.
But the fact that all 4 of them came out of it, and the 2 in the back seat, I mean, it took them a minute, they were, my brother was in the hospital for almost 2 weeks. He had broken ribs, collapsed lung, but he survived it.
That's wild.
So,
that voice, what do you think that is? Because I mean, that's hit me before. It kept me from getting shot right here. I was walking into the house one day when we first moved here. Somebody was target shooting down the road, and I opened the screen door, and usually I would like walk straight in, like open the door, walk straight in. But that day I grabbed it and I sat there for a second, and then I heard zoop hit right between me and the screen door.
Wow.
The bullet hole's still out here in the side of the house. So, and something like, for some reason, when I reached down and grabbed the screen door, I hesitated. If I wouldn't have hesitated, it would caught me right here.
Wow.
I don't know what causes that.
Well, like I said,
Yeah.
it's got to be, and I'm like Stephen, you call it angels, I call it gods. They're the same thing. They come from the same place. I mean, I honestly believe that. I tell people in a lot of cases, so many people immediately look for what separates us. I try to look at what makes us the same. Right. And just because you call something one thing and I call it another doesn't mean that we're not worshiping the same things.
Right.
Just by different names.
Yeah.
With
that right there, I mean, surviving things like that, I guess I'll just go ahead and talk about myself again. Years ago, we had a fuel tank where I would fill up the work truck each day from it, putting off-road diesel in the fuel tank. It was like a 240-gallon tank that I would fill up each day. And the fuel tank the big tank at the shop, it was like 750-gallon tank. And I'd have took it up to the battery and all that and get it turned on. And someone had replaced the non-static hose with a hydraulic hose, so it had steel all through the hose. And on that day, it was the high 90s, and there was probably about an inch or two inches of fuel left in the bottom of that big fuel tank. And whenever I turned the pump on, the pump didn't turn on immediately. And I was thinking, well, I'll put the nozzle in. I'll have to go wiggle the wires again. Whenever I put the nozzle in, it arced and the fuel tank exploded.
Wow.
That's nuts.
The nozzle was in two pieces that I was holding in my hand after the explosion. It blew out the back of the fuel tank, did some damage to the air compressor behind it, and it set the truck on fire because diesel went out and it set the truck on fire. And here's the amazing thing about that is my ears didn't ring. I didn't have a singed hair on me. Wow. I had absolutely zero injury at all. And my parents, who were over a mile away from there, they heard the explosion at their house.
Wow.
My ears didn't even ring.
That's insane. That was like you're in a bubble.
Yes.
That's nuts, man. Wow.
Hey, And I think we've talked about too in the past, like I said, we talk about the power of prayer and what I call magic being basically the same thing. I mean, we're doing the same things. We're putting our energy into it. We're believing it's going to happen, because I don't care what you think. If you don't believe it with your heart, it's never going to happen.
Right.
But when Katrina came through, because I'm on the Mississippi Gulf Coast, and yes, people, we were the impact spot.
Yes.
Not New Orleans.
Mississippi got hit much harder.
Yes. And not that I am in any way taking away from what New Orleans went through, but we're going to call it corrupt politicians and crappy infrastructure being the biggest part of the problem there.
Yes.
But I literally protect what's mine. I mean, I walk my property line, I do my thing, whatever. But when Katrina came through here and then Rita came through 4 weeks later, I had 8 large oak trees around my house, and all 8 of them were down. No, 7 away from my house.
Yeah. That's nuts.
Statistically
impossible.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, and it wasn't just that. I mean, we were missing like 6 tiles or 6 shingles off the roof. People all around me lost everything. But like I said, if that's not a miracle, I don't know what is.
Oh, neither. And if any of you have any personal miracle stories similar to this, go ahead and share them with us. We like to hear about them.
Oh, yeah. Love to hear them.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely.
It's wild, and it's so hard to determine, like, because I don't feel like luck is enough, especially with an explosion like that. No way, luck isn't enough.
It's like, by all rights, I should have had an injury of some kind.
At least, at least a burn somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like backfire or something. I don't know.
Mhm.
But you know, there's the miracle of Calanda. Have you ever heard of this? Have you heard of this?
I don't think so.
Nope.
So in 17th century Spain, a man named Miguel Pellicer experienced a story so unusual that would later become one of the most documented miracles claims in European history. Miguel lost his leg in an accident after a wagon ran him over. The injury became infected and all that stuff, and all they could do back then was like, let's cut it off.
Yeah.
So he did. And then they buried his leg in the hospital cemetery. Fare thee well, good friend of mine, he says. Miguel returned to his hometown. He survived by begging outside of churches and things like that. Years later, something crazy happened. One night while he was sleeping, his parents noticed something kind of weird underneath his blanket. Was he fondling himself? No. He had grown back a leg. He now had 2 legs again.
Oh, wow.
Dozens of witnesses testified that he had previously seen Miguel with only 1 leg. Church officials launched an investigation and eventually declared, hell, it's a miracle. Like,
Yeah.
So some people mistake it, like skeptics will say, well, this was exaggeration or fraud. But it's kind of hard to fake not having a leg for a few years and then having
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. That's yeah. Yeah. I do have two nieces that are miracle babies. They're both born with emphalocele, where they have the hole around their belly button where their
Wow.
intestines are on the outside.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Yep. Hey,
Wow.
that's
That's
I said,
good.
You know,
Yeah.
it's amazing. And like I said, does science have a hand? Yes.
Yeah.
But science can't do it alone.
No.
You know, that's when my son was born. I want to talk about me, Stephen.
Yes. Please do.
I literally no. I mean, I really feel like talking about things that we know matter because, like I said, you know, I can tell you all about Sister Wilhelmina.
Yeah, exactly.
But you know, who anybody can look up that information. But my uterus ruptured when he was born.
Wow.
We lived 1 block behind the hospital and they had to call an ambulance because they could not move me. I was in so much pain.
Wow.
When we got to the hospital, they gave me a 5% chance of making it. And they said, he's got less of a chance. He turned 37 last year.
Wow.
I lost over 4 quarts of blood or 4 pints of blood. Or they put 4 pints back in me. But so, like I said, you know, I know that I lost that much. And I didn't see him for 2 weeks because they sent him to a NICU in another county. And I couldn't drive or ride. I mean, I was in the hospital for over a week and then couldn't ride for another week. So, like I said, you know, that's tough when you're like, I realize he's alive, but I need to put my eyes on him.
Yeah.
So, like I said, you know, he's got 2 girls of his own. And I honestly owe part of that to the fact that the ambulance, the EMT / nurse, was a guy I grew up next door to. He was one of my best friends growing up. And we didn't have doctors they didn't do deliveries in my hometown anymore because liability had gotten so high and everything.
Yeah.
So my doctor was over 50 miles away. And the other EMT was like, okay, well, you know, this is a labor and delivery. We're not going to take her here. We're going to take her on to Jackson. And Henry's like, this isn't labor. Something's not right. And the other guy's like, no, we're just going to go ahead and take her. He goes, no, we're going to go over here. And then if they feel that it's safe, then we will take her. And had he not held that ground, we'd have never made it to the hospital.
No. And that's a miracle in itself, is putting people in the right place at the right time.
Exactly.
If it had been anybody else that answered that call that day, things would have been completely different.
Absolutely.
It's really strange how it works.
So, you know, to me, he's always going to be an angel. I mean, you know,
Oh yeah.
randomly, I'll just think about him and I'll send him a picture of Stephen and the girls. Or, you know, when Stephen was growing up, I'd just send him a picture and just say, thank you. Because he doesn't think he did anything. But I'm sitting here telling you he did everything. So yes, sometimes those miracles are the right person in the right place at the right time.
What's that old story? It's an old Christian story where somebody was lost at sea, and they was praying to God to send them help, and but like a fisherman passed by, like, hey, do you need some help? He's like, no, God's going to send me help here soon. Then another ship passed by, and he's like, do you need help? He's like, no, God's going to send me help here soon. Then he finally passes, then he finally drowns, and when he gets to heaven, he's like, why didn't you help me? He's like, you idiot, I sent you 2 boats. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yes.
And you know, sadly, I know those people.
Yeah.
I know those people right now today that would just do the same thing. And you just shake your head going, how have you survived life this long? So,
Yeah. Yeah, no kidding. I mean, it's crazy. Yeah, I think I found the video I saw the other day. Have you seen the video on TikTok where the words that you speak to water will literally change
Yeah.
what takes place in the water?
No, I don't think so. What do you search?
Here, I'm gonna send it. I'll send it to you in a link.
Okay.
I'll send it. I'm hoping this is the right one. You may have to check it out to make sure that it's. We may have to talk for a minute. We'll talk about that in a minute. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, this week there was a friend of mine I go to church with. He was after church on Sunday night. He began talking out of his head, and on Monday he was not responsive. So on Tuesday is when I found out about it. We went and visited with him, and today or yesterday he started. He's feeding himself. Today he got up, got dressed, fed himself. He's ready to go home today. after not being responsive on Monday.
Wow.
So I mean, I believe this right here. You know, that's for me. I'm gonna always say it's prayer. You know, other people say, you know, it's positive thoughts. It's love. You know, love is the most healing thing that we have here. Yeah.
I agree.
So it's
I agree.
You know, without that, we don't have anything. I mean, it's amazing. You know, some of the other things, you know, that's considered a miracle. You know, was it Fatima? Was that when the 3 children was that was also in Spain, wasn't it? Is where that took place?
I thought that was in South America, but I could be wrong.
What was it in South America? It may have been in South America.
Okay,
Fatima. We talked about that one earlier. That was the sun one where the sun bounced around
Portugal.
the sky.
We're both so wrong.
Portugal. Okay, well, Portugal and Spain, they're on the same peninsula.
There you go. Yep. Because we talked about the miracle of the sun.
So it was in between us. It was in between where we were guessing.
Well, I think what I'm thinking about is the statue, the big giant Fatima statue down in South America.
Oh yeah.
You know, that stands on the side of the that's what I think I was thinking about.
Yeah, that's the largest statue of Jesus in the world, I believe.
Yep. That's there was another one when I was looking this up about hang on. Give me a second. I'll find it real quick. Because it was another one kind of the same type miracle. Let's see, where'd you go?
The stigmata thing has always been interesting to me. You know, where people bleed from their hands and their feet, stuff like that. It's kind of I don't know. Whenever I've listened to a scientist or somebody try to explain it away, I don't know. They never truly satisfied me with whatever they had to say. So,
Hmm.
Let's check. Look, I've got the video finally pulled up. Let me let me stop my share and reshare with sound here, audio.
all right.
Oh, I gotta turn the volume on here too.
Scientific discoveries of all time. I am really shocked that we don't even learn this in school. This is some next level stuff, and it was verified to be true. Dr. Masarimoto, and what he discovered was, when you speak to the water and you say certain things like "I love you" or "You're my friend"
or beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful,
yeah.
Angel. It could be simple, just like angel, happiness, peace. When you say these positive words to the water and then you freeze it, it makes beautiful shapes.
Most of the time they're symmetrical. They look like
you Google images. They have photos of this.
They look like snowflakes, like beautiful symmetrical snowflakes.
Now, when you say mean, nasty words to the water and then they freeze the water, it would make ugly,
asymmetrical
shapes.
Asymmetrical.
Yeah, like cracks and looks like damage.
Bubbles.
And you basically prove that your consciousness and your will combined with the intention behind your words affects reality. It's like the concept that your words are magic, so much so that you change physical reality.
Yeah, it is quite literally proof that the things that come out of your mouth
change reality,
affect your physical surroundings.
I totally believe that.
Cool. I do too. And
Yeah.
they've done studies like that with plants and all kinds of things. Like words mean something. Intention means something. 100%.
Yes.
Agree with that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
Glenda and Gary.
Glinda, thanks for hopping on. Glinda's my niece. She was actually
Yes.
my maid of honor at my wedding.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, cool.
But I tell people this all the time. You get back what you send out. If you send out positive and good, you're going to see more positive and good. If you send out negativity and hate, that's what you're going to see in life, because the universe listens. God listens.
Yeah. If you send out negativity, your toilet's going back up, then you're going to have a explosion trying to fix it.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You missed it, Stephen. Cecil had a rough morning.
And I am one of them people, my mind anymore. I try my best to stay positive as much as I can, but I drift into negativity a lot. I do. And I don't know why. I think it's mental health issues. But I'm working on it. And that might be why things like that happen to me. It might be.
Well, the other thing is surrounding yourself with positive people helps too.
That's true. That's true. I mean, the person I talk to the most outside work is Tully, so there you go.
Okay. Hey, Andrew. Between 1968, I found the one I was talking about, Stephen. Between 1968 and 1971, residents of Cairo, the Cairo district of Zatoun, began reporting a strange and luminous figure appearing on the roof of St. Mary's Coptic Orthodox Church.
Oh.
What started as a small sighting quickly drew massive crowds as thousands of people, Christians, Muslims, and secular observers alike, claimed to see a glowing female figure standing or moving above the church dome. Many believe the apparition resembled the Virgin Mary, often accompanied by flashes of light and flocks of doves circling the building. The phenomenon was reportedly witnessed repeatedly over a period of nearly 3 years and was photographed by observers, which helped fuel the international attention. The Coptic Orthodox Church eventually recognized the event as a genuine apparition, while skeptics have suggested the lights may have been reflections, atmospheric effects, or electrical phenomena. Even today, the apparitions remain one of the most widely witnessed and debated mass miracles claimed in modern times.
Okay, so
3 years worth of people hallucinated, an atmospheric event.
Yeah. So the scientists came in and said it was swamp gas.
Yeah, pretty much. And that's what you tend to see. And like I said, again, yes, I know that there are things that, you can easily explain, what is it? Foxfire, the sparks in the
Yep.
swamps and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. They've scientifically proven that can be what's going on. I don't think that's the only thing, but that's beside the point. But when you have that many people, it's been photographed. You have people coming in from all over the world to witness this miracle, but it's electrical phenomena.
Right.
Doves circling. What are the odds, of doves of all things?
Mhm. Yeah.
So,
I mean, it's one of those things. Like, no matter, like going back, like what we said earlier about if something like the resurrection of Jesus was to happen today, the way they would explain it away. I mean, why do we have to have a reason for everything? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there's not a reason for everything.
Yeah.
I live by the motto that shit happens sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, shit happens.
there you go.
Like,
That's it.
and I know I know that's kind of a horrible way to describe a miracle, but I mean, shit happens. Like, like it happens.
Yeah.
We can always sum it up to something like swamp gas, or oh, well, it was foggy, then the light shine just enough to make you see somebody walking across the rooftop. Like, I mean, I don't know. I don't understand why we have to explain everything away. It's really strange.
Yeah. Yeah. To me, if science cannot explain it and there's proof that it did happen, then to me, we're talking about something that would be supernatural. So, and supernatural things do happen.
Yep.
But
I do have to say my favorite thing is always going to be this. It's mass delusions. Like I said, if good drugs aren't involved, I'm not buying that explanation. Especially over the course of 3 years. Everybody that went here was not high, as a group. They didn't offer, the good bud as you came up and said, "Here, smoke this so we can all see the same thing."
Yeah, I'm like 100% positive they weren't having anything like that in Egypt in 1967, 71. No, that wasn't happening.
Yeah. So, okay, Catherine of Siena, and this was back 1347. She lived from 1347 to 1380. So she was under 50?
Yeah.
Actually, under 40. She was under 40.
Mm-hmm.
So she was one of the most influential spiritual figures in medieval Christianity. She was born in Siena, and she devoted her life to prayer, service to the poor, and intense mystical devotion while living as a member of the Dominican Third Order. Despite having little formal education, she became known for her powerful spiritual insight and wrote letters that advised political leaders and church officials during a turbulent period in European history. She played a significant role in encouraging the Pope to return the papacy from Avignon back to Rome, helping to restore the stability of the church. All of that to talk about, the miracle of the head of St. Catherine. So after she passed away, she died at 33. Okay. So they were moving her head back to Siena because they considered her, she died in Rome, but Siena considered her their spiritual daughter. So they wanted her remains returned to the city. So at the time, it was common for saints' bodies to be divided into relics, and then they would distribute them to different churches and everything, because those relics were believed to carry spiritual significance that became important pilgrimage objects. So according to tradition, a group of her followers traveled to Rome to retrieve the part of her remains and secretly removed her head. So they weren't supposed to have that. But as they were leaving the city, the guards stopped them because they suspected them of stealing relics. According to the story passed down through medieval sources, when the guards inspected the bag containing the relic, the severed head had transformed into rose petals. Yeah. They were allowed to pass, and then once they were safely outside the city, it turned back into a head. And the relic has been in Siena ever since.
Wow.
So, you know, what are the odds? And the thing is, the head is preserved. It looks like it's partially mummified, but
Yeah.
it's still clearly, you know, a female from that time period. You know, it
Wow.
almost reminds you of the Egyptian mummies. You know, there's a little bit in the nose, and you know, her
Yeah.
lips have receded and everything. But for the most part, you can still see her eyebrows, her eyes. You know, she's just sunken because, of course, the skin is going to sink, you know, over time as you know, after you pass. But for something to have lived for 800 years and not to have disintegrated, you know, to almost no recognition is amazing.
Yes, it is.
So, you know, and there, you know, and the thing about it is a lot of times with these religious relics and stuff like that, you know, they supposedly they have healing power, or, you know, they can bestow wishes and stuff like that. I had a friend that used to have a little new age shop down here on the beach. And at one point she had the Buddhists coming through with the bones of one of their saints. And Stephen and I got invited to partake, you know, of the water and everything. Like, yeah, sure, why not? I mean, you know, stranger things have happened. I have ingested much worse. So,
Yeah.
you know, why not? But like I said, you know, they were literally going around, and they had been here to the Buddhist temple, and she happened to be Buddhist, and they offered to come by and have a, you know, private ceremony for her and, you know, a handful of people that she picked. So, you know, that was just not one of those opportunities I was going to pass up. Was there a significant difference in my life after that? No, but maybe that's why I'm still alive today.
Janae, welcome to the show.
Jenny,
Welcome.
where have you been, love?
Yeah, we're rounding off to the end right now.
Yeah, it's so good to see you.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, you want to hit some quick ones real quick from Appalachia?
Yes,
Yeah,
I love
yeah.
that.
That's near and dear to my heart because I live there.
Yes.
All right. So the snow survivor at the Smokies. One of this story, a hunter became lost in a blizzard and temperatures dropped way below freezing. While he was on the verge of death, he said he seen a faint lantern that was shining through the woods. So he started walking toward it, and the lantern just kept getting farther away every time he started walking toward it. And eventually, what happened was the lantern started getting closer and closer. And then he walked into an abandoned log cabin. And there he survived by lighting a fire in the fire chimney and things like this, and the fire chimney. And so after, you know, the snow subsided and things like this, and he got warmed back up and he made his way out of the woods, he's like, I'm going to go back to that cabin. He went back to the exact location. Cabin's gone.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. Now that's a common thing amongst Appalachia, I believe. I even talk about the cabin that I seen once and tried to go back to, and it's not there.
Really?
Yeah. I even wrote a story about it. but that's a pretty cool one. That's the last one I wanted to talk about anyway. That was a quick hit.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to do a quick shout out for the Mississippi Miracle.
Nice.
And it refers, and this is not at all supernatural, it was just a concerted effort. But we rose from 2013 to 2024 from 49th in reading to 9th
Wow.
in the country.
That's impressive.
It really is. And like I said, you know, a lot of it was based on the Promotion Act of 2013, which mandated phonics-based instruction, teacher training in the science of reading. And of course, you know, they grade this in like 4th grade, but they started holding back 3rd graders who failed the reading assessment. I can remember being in school, and like the first day of school, they would start from seat 1, row 1, read a chapter, and then go through the entire class. And the ones that couldn't read or couldn't read well never got called on to read again. They just pushed them forward, get them out of the system, get them out of the school. We get more people in here. So, I think it's awesome that they made a concerted effort. And I hate to see children held back, but if they're not functioning, then they need to be sometimes.
Yeah. My dad was one of those kids, I forget what he was in, the 2nd grade or something like that. And of course, my grandfather, my grandparents, they moved around a lot. I mean, a lot. They moved all over the country. And he got in one of those small classrooms, and the teacher, she figured out that he didn't know how to read. So she moved his desk right up there beside her desk, and she started him with, I think, was it Dick and Jane, I think, were the books.
Oh, yes. I remember Dick and Jane.
And she insisted that he learn how to read. I mean, he's been a reader his whole life since then. So, but I mean, it was a teacher who cared enough to want him to learn how to read.
That's the big thing, finding teachers that care enough.
Well, I'm dyslexic, and I don't mean that being a smart ass. I mean, I am clinically dyslexic, and I just had a mom and a couple of damn good teachers that didn't let me slip through the cracks. And like I said, I mean, and it's funny because I'm an avid reader, and when I'm typing, I feel it when I turn words around. Numbers change. You can't, that memorization isn't there. So I still struggle with numbers. But yeah. And you know what, Jenny? Dolly Parton is amazing in so many ways, but her book program has sent out millions of books to children in this country. I mean, it's just absolutely phenomenal what she's done. So, like I said, there are so many times kids are called dumb or stupid or whatever, and it's that they have either a learning disability or nobody's actually sat down and taken the time to teach them.
I think my issue with reading is when I was real little, like when I first started talking, I started reading repo paperwork to help Dad find cars when we was in Florida. So I was like, Dad's like, this says 1985 Cadillac. Can you read that? Do you know the address? Like things like that. That's how I learned how to read. So
But what was it? 3 Men and a Baby. He's reading her this like violent, like comic, and somebody's like, "What are you reading her?" It's not what you're reading; it's the tone you use. So yes, I'm very proud of Mississippi. For that, there are a lot of things I'm not real proud of. I mean, we just got our 9th AI data center approved.
Sweet.
9.
9 in the last 6 months. He has brought in 9.
That's wild.
Wow.
I mean, there is this desert out there where they used to practice nuclear bombings on that would be perfect for data centers.
Yeah.
But oh no, let's use the Mississippi Delta. And it's not just the Delta. I mean, they're all around the Capitol. They're like 4 or 5 around the Capitol. Yeah.
I know Arkansas is getting one in Little Rock. And Texas is getting one, was it around Amarillo or something?
Yes.
Somewhere in West Texas.
Yeah.
Project Matador, I believe, is the name of that one in Texas.
Yes. Is that the one that's supposed to have the nuclear power plant that's going to power it? And we don't need water because it's going to recycle water. Y'all don't know what condensation is on hot nuclear reactors? Come on. Okay. Yeah. I'm sorry. Off my soapbox.
Yeah.
I mean, Kentucky looks like it's in fear of becoming a hub for AI and hyperscale data centers.
There you go. It's me and Tully always send each other stuff back and forth about who's worse, Mississippi or Kentucky, as far as the things that our leaders do for us. And we're pretty close in there. Well,
the reason they don't go out to the desert is because they need the water, They need that water so I can make these funny pictures.
Yeah. And I'm guilty of using it. I'm not even going to lie about that. But I feel like there are other places that, hey, there's this huge desert in northern Russia called the Siberian.
Yeah.
You snow.
Yeah, and snow doesn't melt and turn into water. Hey, how about Antarctica? You know, that place that nobody's ever broken a treaty to go into? Okay. And I have missed you too. We were just talking about you last weekend, Jenny, and the fact that we haven't seen you recently.
Yeah, she came in last weekend.
I wasn't here Saturday though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But
I wasn't here.
Wasn't either.
I think we should finish off since we shared one from Appalachia and one from Mississippi. You got any Arkansas ones? Arkansas?
If you don't, I'm gonna find you one.
I don't know. That's I can't think of any miracles off the top of my head other than ones I believe I've been personally involved in. You know, interesting fact about Arkansas is that if it was left alone, we've got everything in the state that we need to survive without taking anything from anywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Minerals, the whole deal, gas, everything.
I've got one.
Okay.
For Arkansas.
Yeah.
The Arkansas Angel.
Arkansas Angel.
Yeah, in 1865, a steamboat named Sultana exploded on the Mississippi River near Marion, Arkansas. Over 1,100 people passed away, making it the worst maritime disaster in U.S. history. Some survivors, though, there were survivors, say a mysterious woman was on the riverbank waving them toward shallow water to help them reach safety. So whenever they got to the bank, the woman was helping and things like that. And then people went around to go thank her. No such woman was ever found.
Really?
Yeah.
That's another one of those times where, you know, it really makes me wonder, was that an angel that was there? You know, how many times have people actually seen angels and they didn't recognize them for who they were?
Mm-hmm.
I guess another one is with Mox. He told me about the woman in the dress here at the house. Yeah, he told me that she saved his life one day with the pool. So it's kind of
that's wild.
Yeah, yeah, that's it. It's wild. I don't doubt him now.
No.
Mm-hmm. Hey, out of the mouths of babes.
Yeah, the thing is, when people tell me things like that, even I believe kids more than anybody.
Oh yeah,
I really do, because I feel like they can still see into that. You know what I mean?
Like, that's a big part of the reason why I've always and still firmly believe in reincarnation, because of the kids' accounts I've read about over time. You know, I mean, I know my own personal, but to hear, you know, a 5-year-old explain about his wife from a village, you know, hundreds of miles away, to talk about their children and his job and everything else, only to find out a year later when they take him here, he took them straight to the house, straight to his wife. The children existed by the names he had given. They found the job he had worked at. I mean, so, you know, a kid doesn't have the capacity. There's no basis of comparison to a place he's never been. So, you know, why wouldn't you believe that?
Yeah. See, how does science explain that one away? So I mean,
they try.
That's one of those curiosities to me. You know, it's
Well, he found a letter when he was playing, wrapped in
when he was 5, huh?
And then he read this letter, and it had a list of names in bullet point font.
I will also add, this was back in the 50s. You know, so he didn't have the World Wide Web like we've got today, you know, to help fill in those gaps.
Yeah, those things are wild.
You know, that was similar to another story I'd heard of a young girl passed away, and I don't know, it's kind of a weird thing that happened. Another girl, I don't remember all the details of the story, but this family, you know, they had their daughter, and she just didn't feel like she was at home. And she told them where she needed to go to, and she actually went and lived with this other family as their daughter who had passed away for a while. And she came back, but I mean, she knew everybody there and all that. It's kind of, man, that's I don't know what to do with it, other than it was just a fascinating story as to why that girl would feel at home with a different family.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right here's another little miracle. These things right here, that thing you hear in the background, this little thing right here, they're little miracles. When I was crashing out today, this one didn't leave my side.
Mm-hmm. Hey, I'm going to tell you what, without words, mine have talked me down from a ledge more than once.
Oh, yeah.
So
it's like that comedian joke. I tell Mandy all the time, I'm like, these dogs love me so much more than you do. She's like, that ain't true.
Oh, look, I'm waiting for Mo to get home in the morning. He had to leave his baby home with me because his knee was hurt so bad that he was concerned, and I was too, with him getting her in and out of the truck. So she's been home without daddy all week. She has moped. She has whined. And she's probably going to bite the crap out of him when he gets home.
Probably so.
Like, I can't believe he left me here with her. She treats me like a dog.
That comedian has a joke about it. He's like, let me lock you in the trunk of a car for 2 hours. And let me lock the dogs in the trunk of a car for 2 hours. And when I open up, let's see who's happy to see me.
That's right. I'm going to tell you, I put dogs right up there with kids. I can forgive a lot, or at least overlook a lot. But if you hurt a kid or you hurt a dog or an animal, period, I mean, it just, I have suggestions for what to do with you, but they won't let me make the rules. So,
yeah.
Anyway, this has been a fun topic for sure. I love the idea of miracles, and I still, what do you guys think they are? Like, what's your final conclusion? Do you have an idea? Mine is, it's a miracle. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a miracle. It's something that is supernatural. And I mean,
we have all three, through personal experience, proved that they exist tonight. Yeah. This isn't just stuff we found off the internet and stuff that we've heard about or read about. We have all three lived it.
Yep.
We're all three sitting here having a conversation, and statistically should not be.
Yeah, I agree with what Jenny put there in the chat. Spiritual warfare, always downplaying miracles and always trying to say that this didn't happen. It wasn't a miracle, that this was science or whatever. Yeah, that would be part of spiritual warfare to close it down for people even more. There is no such thing as a supernatural. There is no such thing as angelic beings or even demonic beings.
Right. And maybe that's it. That those are some of the things that keep people having hope and choosing to go on. When you take all of that away, then it's okay, I'll do whatever, I don't care.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, that makes you more of a sheep. If you don't have the ability or, the right to believe what you want to believe. And like I said, we all know there are things that I believe that y'all think are bull. There are things y'all believe that I think are bull. Yeah. And we believe a lot of stuff, but we all have that place that we're like, but we still have that hope that it's there. Mm-hmm. Because it can't be explained away.
Yeah. As far as those angels and stuff like that, it says in the book of Hebrews, be careful to entertain strangers, because some people have entertained angels unaware that they were actually entertaining angels.
Yes. That's
so
it. A little bit of grace doesn't take a thing away from you.
No.
So.
Nope.
I agree. And so plugs. Everybody, if you got the spare funds and you want to look cool for Christmas, you want to look cool for Thanksgiving,
Easter's coming up.
Easter wedding. If this is good clothing for weddings, get you a new hoodie, get you a new shirt, get you a coffee mug to pack along with to that wedding when you're walking up.
Come on, see how cool, good quality.
Very good quality,
Yeah.
by the way.
I'm hoping my shirts will be in here in another day or two. So
Are you the one that ordered it? I was wondering. I said, oh,
We were discussing that just,
I'm the
just
person
before
that
the
ordered.
show.
My wife ordered. She was, and she's gonna order some more. She just wanted to see how they fit, before she ordered one for herself.
I feel you.
For her and mom.
I will say the shirts fit a little small. So if you're somebody that likes baggy clothes, go ahead and get a size a little bigger. Totally said that his hoodie was a little tight, but mine was spot on. Mo's
was perfect, but it is not baggy.
No, it's not baggy.
No, but it fits really good. The one that I got for me fits really good. But like I said, if you wanted to layer it over a couple of things or you want that baggy look, you're not going to get that.
I think Tully's just like, oh, you should show my muscles more. In that case, you want it baggier, buddy. But right here, this design right here is going away very soon. Very soon, as soon as I get the new one completed. So go get you one. I personally like it in red. I wish I would have got that. My wife got it in red. It actually looks better in real life than it does in this right here. You see how it's got the square around it?
Yeah.
Hers doesn't look like that. It just looks like it fades straight into the shirt. It's weird. Like I was kind of hesitant about it when she wanted a red one, but when it came, it looks pretty dope.
Awesome.
And go to linktree.com/cosmic crumbs with a 0 for cosmic.
Yep.
Share your stories, sign up for the mailing list, share your recipes. This is a show that totally does every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Right? Yeah, that sounds right. Yep. It's good. It's a great show. He goes over some recipes, looks at some stuff, covers some crazy things. And go to 4rbs.com, the number 4, the letter rbs.com, and use the promo code WITF for 20% off. And
don't forget, you can stack those deals. If they have a 2-for-1, they will still give you the 20% off that our WITF promo does.
WITF promo.
I've used it personally that way. So,
and between the notes, do we have a release date yet?
Mid-March is the goal.
Mid-March. So next week.
Okay, maybe late mid. How about that?
In March. And Till Death Do We Watch is still slated to start on April 20th, 2026. It's a Monday. We're going to be released on Mondays. It's a fun little show.
Yep.
And Stephen, what you got going on?
I'm not sure. I did let's see, I was on a Cryptid Wilderness Research podcast Saturday before last or something like that. So I don't know I'm not sure if it, haven't even looked to see if it's been released yet. I was on there with Daniel Becker. So he's in Alaska. So
cool.
So
I subscribe to this. Okay. Sweet.
So
even better.
And next on March the 14th, it'll be so not tomorrow, but the following Saturday, we're scheduled to have Robin back with us again.
Awesome.
And so that'll be
Robin.
So that'll be a fun show.
Yes, it will. There is a watch party tomorrow night at 8/7 Central.
8/7 Eastern. Well, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central.
Yes, 7 Central. Yep. Tully will be.
I know what I'm watching after. I know what I'm watching after we get off here.
Yeah.
The episode. Oh God, the episode is up on. Was he talking Dogman, Bigfoot, and tree manipulation?
Yeah. We went over all that. So that's
awesome.
This is going to be awesome. I posted the link to that, and this goes straight to the video. If you want to copy and paste that, that's got Steven in it. Go check that out right now.
Yep.
On Cryptid Wilderness Research. I need to watch this more.
Yeah, it's Daniel's a good guy. He's He's
I
a
don't
good
remember
guy.
when I subscribed to it, but I did.
Yep. Don't forget to set your freaking clocks forward.
Oh yeah.
Pick a damn time, people. Just pick a time. That would be the only thing. Only two things would cause me to move to Arizona: no damn time change, and the Tucson Rock Show. Wednesday nights watching Weird. If you've got time and want to catch a cool movie review,
Blonde's
those
Book
guys
of Vampires I seen was back, right?
do it. Yes,
Blonde's
the
Book-
Blondes. Yep, they're back every other Tuesday talking campfire tales.
Sweet. And that's on the Weird Realities Network
Mhm.
on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and probably a few other places. I don't know for sure.
That sounds good. If it's not Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook, then I generally forget it. So, but we're in all the places. We're
Totally
on
has us on all kinds of things. I'm very surprised we're not on OnlyFans right now. We could be.
Because I'm not taking my clothes off, and I don't think Steven is. Okay, I can see Cecil.
Yeah. Cecil, I know I'm not going to be on there because me not wearing a hat tonight, that's as close to topless as you're going to see me.
Yet. There you go, Landa. We're not on OnlyFans yet.
We're not on there yet. And it's not always just
That's
naked
okay.
folk.
Maybe that we're just going to do feet pictures.
Wouldn't that be funny? Like our feed to OnlyFans would only be our feet just moving while we're talking.
Yes. Yep. Just get that second camera and just have it pointing down at your feet the whole time.
No.
Okay, there's some weird people out there that could go over.
No.
But yeah, come back tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern, and we're going to be finishing up Tully's huge list of videos that we started last week. Unless he's added 50 more, and then we'll probably have to do it again.
All right.
And
that'll start at 7 Central Standard Time tomorrow night.
Okay, there you go. If you want to bring in some income, there you go. Snapchat $5 for the toe show.
I used to have
Nobody sing toes.
now this is the thing that kills me. I used to have such pretty feet, and now they're not so pretty.
I got to get the nail polish out if we're going to do that. So
scars all over them. I don't know what's happened to them. But anyway, thank you all so much for tuning in tonight. We appreciate you all. Make sure to go buy some clothes to wear to your, I don't know. It'd be nice to be buried in some of these. Just get it ready for when the day comes. But this is my food. So thank you all for watching us, because we are watching you.